Hello and welcome to Sunday's Polka Markets Watch video, where I look at the markets from the Polkadot ecosystem. I'll kick it off with NEER from Bitcountry Pioneer, then we'll look at GLMR, Kusama, DOT, AUSD, MOVR, Phala, and KMA. And so let's kick things off with NEER. Now it is trading at 40 cents at the moment. It did have a massive dump to 37 cents, which is quite nasty. It was yesterday, in fact, where we had this massive dump on the 15th, as you can see here. Yesterday evening, UTC, we basically dumped straight from almost 40 cents. We went all the way down to 37. So it's definitely a big seller here who likely wanted to get out, which is weird because they wanted to get out like a couple of days before the land sales, because the land sales are due to happen on the 18th, if you don't already know. And so I am expecting some price action to happen around those, but we'll have to see, because it is going to be a Tuesday. It is during the week. Trading activity is different than at the weekend. You know, the weekend is usually choppy. So in the past, it used to be really red on Sundays, and you used to get if you had a red Sunday, sometimes you'd have a green Monday. But in the case of the bear market, it seems that if the Sundays are red, the Mondays tend to be even worse because they tend to follow. So because today we've got a bit of a green Sunday, things might be a bit better for us tomorrow. But again, it is very, very choppy. It's very hard to know. But as you can see, we are on the uptrend once again after the massive dump. We had that last dump on the 13th of October. Then we had a nice push to the upside here for a nice percentage gain on the 14th. So you're basically just waiting one day to scalp this, to flip this if you are trading it. And then you are obviously selling around this area here, waiting for the pullback, which you got just one day after. Now we're on the uptrend again for the 16th. This is actually playing so nicely. This is like a trader's paradise here, or let's say a flipper's paradise, because if you are flipping day to day and you're waiting to accumulate more NEER, or you're simply wanting to set up that USDT fund, this is the opportunity right here. And these are the kind of moves we're waiting for. The more of these happen, the better for us as flippers, right? I mean, if you get 20 of these in a row, imagine like how much you could actually accumulate. And while other people are just waiting and waiting and holding, waiting for that bigger move, which of course is going to happen eventually. But what if it doesn't? What if the move to the downside happens again? What will you do then, right? So that's why you got to ask yourself. Again, I don't recommend anyone to trade with their full holding bag or anything, but I mean, if you have some flip bag that you have aside just to be able to accumulate, I mean, these are great opportunities so that you don't have to put in that fresh fiat into crypto. At least that's my perspective on it, right? And so yeah, this is pretty cool here. So now let's take a look here at the next one, which is GLMR. And I mean, GLMR has had a nice pop here. As you can see, went to 55 cents. It was a Moonriver style pump here. We didn't have one of these for GLMR for quite some time. In fact, I don't think I remember when we had one of these. When was it? I was here. No, actually, this is more like it. So it was on the 6th of October. So we had to wait 10 days to get another one of these. So as you can see, we do get these with GLMR, but just not as often as we get them with Moonriver, with MOVR. And so as you can see, yeah, if you missed this, it's a shame. I've missed this personally, right, with the flip bag. But yeah, I mean, if you got this, then that's great, because now, as you can see, it is pulling back. I am expecting this to touch the 200-day moving average here, which is the purple line, and I'm expecting a small bounce here, but it's not guaranteed because it is very Bitcoin dependent, as in if Bitcoin continues to dump below 19k, and we'll see it at 18.5k, don't expect this to hold, expect this to fail, and expect us to go lower and revisit 46 cents, maybe even 45 cents. We do have some support around 47 as well, a little bit of support, not too much, and then the next one would be around 46. So I'm expecting we're going to accumulate around 47, and then we're going to accumulate more around 46 if we do dump below. But things could be okay. We may see a bounce here around this area. We don't necessarily have to touch this moving average, but we could be close to it, and we could just bounce right off it, which could be good. But it's not looking very likely here. It is looking like we are going to struggle, simply because we've got this resistance area here, and it's a lot of resistance around 48 and 49 here. So the fact that we're failing here and we're going below it is a bit worrisome, especially because we had this massive pop here and then the selling just started straight after. These were likely bots selling. It was likely one or two people buying a lot for whatever reason, and then just bots selling. So there was definitely a lot of selling pressure there. But we'll see. Next up, let's move on to Kusama. So Kusama is at 39. As you can see, it was 38.39 on the low. So we did go back up a bit, but again, it moved with the market, so nothing special here. We are encountering resistance around this area, then more resistance around 39.30, and then more resistance around 39.60 as well. And we've got so much more resistance in other areas as well, up to 40. Like, we've got so much resistance up to 40, it's unbelievable. And I think just to see Kusama get to 40 was something special here for us, right? Because that's where the major resistance areas are. So even if we go back to 40, expect to struggle to break that and to see higher levels. For now, I am expecting Kusama to trade sideways, maybe even dump a bit lower. I'm not seeing the bright side here with Kusama, unfortunately, because there's just nothing bullish right now from a fundamentals perspective. The common good parachains are not coming to Kusama, they're going to Polkadot. And so that's one of the reasons we lack a lot of the crowd loans at the moment. So yeah, you just got to look at the fundamentals here. And yeah, it is moving with the market, but there's also a lot of dumping continuously happening, because think of it, all these validators are selling their Kusama to be able to cover the costs and of course to have some gains, right? Because why would you run a validator if you're not expecting any sort of income? A lot of people do it for the income. And so that, then there's also the traders as well, people shorting, people flipping. So you know, it all plays out. So there's not enough buying, but there's a lot of selling. And so as you can see here, that's why we're seeing this dump. Now we can expect another round of buying to occur in the moment when we get closer to the parachain auction lease expiring. So every time the parachain auction lease expires for a project, then you can expect the teams to buy up a lot of Kusama so that they can self-fund for the next 11-month lease to extend it, right? Because they obviously want to keep developing, right? So you got to watch out for those times as well. You may get some push to the upside, some nice buying events in those moments when teams usually buy, but it all depends on the teams, because not all the teams just market buy. Some of them might be buying slowly so that they don't cause that market push, you know, but we have to see how things go. I am going to do a video likely where I'll be discussing those areas where, or let's say the time zones where we can expect some buys just before the lease expires, but it is very hard to estimate simply because you don't know when the team decides to buy. But as you can see here, like after we had this push to the downside here on the 13th and we went to 36.70, we immediately pushed back up to 42 here. We had nice massive buying here. So with this buying pressure, I mean, this could be parachain teams for all we know, right? Or it could be just the market. It could just be the bots buying with the market, but it could also be parachain teams. So that's something to keep in mind. As you can see, then the selling pressure kicked in again. Let's move on to DOT here. DOT is also, I had a similar move to Kusama. Again, massive buys here. Again, it could be just the market. And then we're now holding okay here. So we're actually doing better in terms of DOT holding and pushing to the upside. Now we are switching to the uptrend, as you can see here. Ever since we had this pop here from the downtrend, it looks like the trend is kind of changing now. So we'll have to see how DOT reacts here around 620. If we're going to be able to break this area of 620, which has a lot of resistance all around here, then you can expect us to go higher to about 640 or so for the next resistance area. And so we'll have to see how DOT goes, but I think you can easily break that area if there's some bullish news with DOT. We'll have to keep an eye out on that, of course. And let's talk about AUSD. This is a sad event here because the Acala team are gone quiet once again. So while we're pending their updates, while we're waiting to see them liaise with KuCoin and try to get the pegging back on and likely pay a lot of money, as per a conversation on Discord where the team has been discussing with a certain number of people there to say that they are in discussions with KuCoin. Then until that happens and until we actually see some positive announcement from the team, then I don't think we're going to see any major action here with the USD. And I am concerned now because look at this. I mean, we went all the way down to 58 cents here, which is quite a drop if you think about it, quite a drop here, only to recover a little bit here to about 70 cents and now we're stabilizing around 66. So it just seems this is the price that people are willing to pay for AUSD now, considering that this SD label has been on it for so long. It is getting into the danger zone. We are waiting for the team to liaise with KuCoin. We didn't get any response from the team yet. The team seemed to be taking their time when it comes to responses to announcements on Twitter. They usually take, it seems like they're working on the issue, and then they usually take a number of days before they give us an actual response when they have more information. So I can expect Betty Chen to eventually come out and say, look, this is what we're going to do. And now you're basically gambling at this stage, waiting for a positive announcement that they've come to terms with KuCoin and they've come to some sort of agreement. to get the pegging back like it used to be. Now imagine the amount of money they'd have to invest, because you have to think about it, right? I mean, we're talking millions of dollars here for them to try to get this pegging back. So it's not going to be easy, but yeah, it is definitely achievable, and I'm sure the team have the funding. So, you know, but me personally, I mean, for me personally, I find it very hard to gamble right now and to just play this for a flip and to get over an over 50% gain, because you would be getting a really, really nice gain here if it comes to it. If you are to get in around this price, 60 something cents, and just hold into the pegging, that would be a really nice gain. But there's also, it also comes with that risk that you could lose everything should some bad news come out, and should they come out and say, sorry, we are not able to bring the pegging back, right? I'm hoping that's not the case, of course, but because many people would be impacted by this, but it could be the case, right? Again, to actually bring the pegging back, as you can see here, you only need about 155k, so it's not too bad here. Actually 1.34 million if you want to get to exactly $1, but because the way this works here with the order book, $1 does actually mean $1 and something, so it can be above $1. So I would be more inclined to say with 155k you can get closer to that $1 pegging, and then there's whatever difference is left between 90 something cents to $1. So that's how it works for these order books on the 1 decimal here on the KuCoin. And so let's move on and talk about MOVR here. MOVR has been on a nice uptrend as well ever since that dump that we've seen on the 13th of October, where it went to 922, which was really nasty. It then went to 1020. It dumped once again to 917, actually went as low as the last low that it had here. Somebody was just selling a lot of MOVR here, basically market dumping, and that's why you get these wicks. But then we immediately had another wick to the upside here. So just having these orders in place is what really works out for a lot of people, right? And this is how you can earn a lot by playing these flips. Not financial advice, but I mean, it's pretty obvious here that by playing these kind of flips, by setting low buy orders around like say 950, 940, waiting for those to hit, waiting for the price to go up to around 11 something, just for playing one of those flips, you're already getting a nice percentage gain there. So you know, why not? In a bear market, everything is doable when you're looking for gains. And so yeah, we are in an uptrend here, a very clear uptrend. It looks really good here. I am expecting it to end at some point. I don't expect this to continue going, because again, it's not a strong uptrend, it's a soft uptrend. So you can encounter a lot of resistance here. As you can see, we've got resistance all around this area here, which is why we're struggling to break higher. Then we've got more resistance around 1130. So if we're going to see any kind of upward momentum like this one here, it would be because we get one of these wicks every once in a while, right? So we can expect another push to around 1250 to even 13 bucks eventually. It could happen later on this month, or it could happen in November. I am expecting this to come at some point before mid-November. I'm expecting another pop to maybe 13 bucks. Of course, I could always be wrong, but this is just my estimation based on what's happened in the past. We've seen so many pops for MOVR multiple times on multiple occasions. Look at all these wicks. So, you know, I could be saying, yeah, that's bull, is not going to happen. But I mean, all I'm saying here is look what's been happening. So seeing all these wicks just tells me that there's definitely still buying pressure in some occasions because people just want to get in for whatever reason. So yeah. Next up, let's talk about Phala here. Phala has been on a massive run up after being quiet for so long in the sense of the price. Of course, development had been ongoing, but look at this. I mean, it had this massive dump here from 8 cents to 7 cents. And then if you had the power to hold at 7 cents, you witnessed a growth to 20 cents. You witnessed another pullback to 14 cents. And then you witnessed a massive pump here to 50 cents, which is absolutely amazing here. Sorry, 46 cents, in fact. Absolutely amazingly high here from 7 cents. I mean, think about that. Then a massive pullback here as the selling pressure was massive to 25 cents. Another push to the upside 35, and now we're seeing another push to the downside. I'm expecting this to maybe retest around 20 cents here before we'll go lower, as there'll be a lot of selling pressure. A lot of people are desperate to get out. We are in a bear market. Remember, there are no fantasies here, right? You can't expect miracles to happen. You can't expect the price to go absolutely insane and hold that way for a long period of time, right? This is what I'm trying to say. You can expect it to go up all of a sudden because of market makers, because of some bullish news, whatever, but don't expect it to hold. That's what I'm saying, because there are just so many sellers eagerly waiting to dump their bags on you. So yeah, that's my point. Like, as soon as I'd see one of these pops, I'd be out and about straight away, not even thinking about it twice, right? So yeah. That's how I would do it personally. Let's talk about KMA as well, Calamari. Look at this. I mean, it's been doing okayish considering the high APY for staking. I'd expected it to dump actually, but it didn't. It held quite okay here at a fifth of a cent. So we'll have to see if it continues to hold around that area. It does get the odd pop now and again, but as you can see, people that are staking are likely selling as well. They're selling those staking rewards because they are quite juicy, especially depending on the amount you're staking. And with over 100% APY for most on most escalators, I mean, you can expect the price to do okayish here. And Kenny is doing a really good job at attending various events around the world, trying to spread the word. And so yeah, you can expect this coin to do pretty well for now and hold okayish, because we have seen, I mean, it dumped so much that I think that all the people that held large bags are likely out, and so it's just the holders now slightly buying. Some of them are selling, but then the new people are coming in as well, the ones that are hearing about Manta Network and Calamari from the events that Kenny is attending. And so yeah, of course you can expect more buying pressure here. You could also expect it to hold sideways for a while. But I mean, the more events that Kenny attends, the better it is for the community at the end of the day, because he's spreading the word. And don't forget that we had Edward Snowden on that call as well. So Edward Snowden knows about Polkadot, he knows about Manta Network and Calamari. So I think that kind of caused a bit of a momentum too. But we'll have to see if that did actually trigger anything. That's been it from today's Polka Markets update. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Bye bye.